Hello YouTube! Let's make some delicious homemade angel food cake. Come on in here and I'll show you how it's done. It's delicious. You can top it any way you want to. I like it plain. So what I'm gonna do first is separate 12 eggs. Because I know I will undoubtedly bust a yolk or and there it is. And get shell in it, which is right here. I'll get that little booger out of there. And then dump my clean yolk over into my bowl for yolks. So I'm gonna do that with 12 eggs. Alrighty, now we need a cake, and the recipe calls for cake flour. I have never used it. I'm putting a teaspoon of baking soda and a dash of salt in here. I wanna mix this up. And then I'm gonna add 3/4 of a cup of sugar and mix this up and keep it setting to the side because I'm gonna need it. And mix it just like this so it's mixed real good, and this is sifted. In case anybody was wondering, I did sift this flour. That was 3/4 cup of sugar in with the flour. And I have another 3/4 cup sitting right here that's gonna go in egg whites once we get them beat up. But to start it, I've got my dozen egg whites and I've got cream of tartar. This should be on your spice shelf if you have to go buy it, which most people have this in their cabinet. Now I'm going to put 1.5 teaspoons of this in here. Well, that was a half. I think I'm getting a little low and I'm going to have to go buy some. And so there's a teaspoon and that's in there. And I've got 3/4 teaspoon of salt. That's gonna go in there. And I'm just gonna take my mixer and beat this till it's nice and fluffy. And we'll be back. All right, I've got this at stiff peaks now. See how it forms little peaks? That's stiff peaks. So I'm slowly gonna add my sugar in a little at a time. Just on low like this. Just a little at a time until it's all mixed in. And this is 3/4 of a cup, so it's not a lot. And while I'm doing this, I'm also going to put in a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm putting a teaspoon of vanilla, and I'm also going to get a teaspoon of almond extract. And I didn't measure it out, so that is 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract. And I'm gonna mix that in nice and slow. Then I'm just gonna slowly add my flour. Whoops, I'm gonna take my mixer out because we don't need that no more. And then I'm gonna, in 4 parts, add my flour sugar mixture. And this is a cup of flour and 3/4 cup of sugar. And I'm just gonna fold it in slowly like this. Go around and through the middle. And that's all folding is. I'm gonna do this in about 4 sections here. And I've had my oven warming up to 375. And I've got an ungreased flute pan here. 2 parts, very old. I bought it used at a thrift store. And I'm going to put it in that. And I'm going to go ahead and get it in this flute pan. And like I said, my oven, this is ungreased. My oven's been heating to 375. And I am going to bake this for about 30 to 35 minutes, depending on your oven. And we'll be back when it's ready. I'm going to spread this out and make it nice. And if you were wondering, these won't go to waste. I will fry these up and feed them back to my chicken. It has been 35 minutes in my oven. I'm gonna let it sit here a couple minutes and then we'll go on to the next step because there's another step to letting it cool off. All right, it has sat a couple minutes and I'm gonna go right against the wall of this pan just like this, all the way around. And loosen it up like this. All the way around, just like that. And then what I'm gonna do is I put a rag here to keep the heat off my counter here. And I'm out. Careful with that still. Take this and I'm going to center this so that it sits right on top of my counter. And now I will let it cool just like this, and see, this is sitting on my rag, so it's not on my counter. I'm gonna let this cool completely. And then when it's cooled completely, we'll take it off. Now I am going to take this off of here, still hot. And very slowly I'm going to, well, first let me set it on the sheet over here, the cooling rack. And I'm gonna take it just like this underneath here and go right to the middle, just like so, all the way around. And now I'm going to just go all the way around the center like this, as close as I can to this middle piece. And pray for the best, y'all. All the way around, and it's gonna be just a little bit messy because I know me. And then I'm just gonna take this and try to flip it over without breaking it or burning myself, just like that. Oops, and you can see where I missed just a little bit right here on this pan. It's just homemade angel food cake. Come on in here and I'll show you how it's done. It's delicious. You can top it any way you want.